Welcome to Out of the Blue. I'm Jen White. The University of Michigan's Nichols Arboretum is a 123-acre park in the heart of Ann Arbor. Community members and students come to its rolling hills and green spaces to hike and commune with nature. But horticulture isn't the only culture you'll find in the Arb. Jimmy Rhodes has the story.
On about a dozen evenings every summer, large crowds descend on the University of Michigan's Nichols Arboretum.
What thou seest when thou dost wake, do it for thy true love take. Love languor for his sake. Be it ounce or cat or bear, hard or boar with bristled hair, in thy eye that shall appear. When thou wakes, it is thy deed.
Proving that all the world really is a stage, Shakespeare's plays are brought to life in one of the loveliest locations on campus. But Act 1 of this story is set at Michigan's Residential College, in the office of drama lecturer Kate Mendel.
I've been doing Shakespeare in the Arb for about 10 years now, and I've done a fair number of plays as well.
Now celebrating 10 seasons, Kate shared the story of how Shakespeare in the Arb got its start.
It came from the fact that I just simply didn't have resources.
Right.
So I said, well, to hell with it, I'm going to just work outside.
When she mounted that first production, it seemed the fates were against her.
The first weekend was actually hail and ice. It was crazy. And we didn't have a lot of audience members, but the ones we did were very enthusiastic. The following weekend, word of mouth must have spread because we suddenly had 300 people just showing up. So that's when we realized we had something that people really wanted to see.
Seeing Shakespeare in the Arb was a new experience for those who attended.
Shun me, and I will spare your heart.
Give me that boy, and I will go with thee.
Not for thy fairy kingdom. Fairies away, we shall chide downright if I longer stay.
Well, go thy way.
The audiences just love moving.
Yeah.
It tickles them. There's so many children who get excited about Shakespeare this way. I lead the way with a flag.
Okay.
To show, where the next site is. And I've always got a couple of, like 5-year-old girls, 6-year-old boys right by me saying, where's the next location? Where's the next location? And I bet that's going to happen.
The wildest hath not such a heart as you. Run when you will, the story shall be changed.
The best thing about the Arb shows is that you are always a part of the show. So you come and you sit in the grass with the bugs, and you have the sunlight streaming down you for the first half of the show, and then you experience the twilight with us for the rest of the show. A lot of times we'll run through you. It takes you out of your seat and brings you right into the experience.
The Arboretum isn't just a setting for the play, it's a collaborator in its own right.
The Arb is one of the chief actors in the company. There's no question. And what we do in our first rehearsals is just explore the Arb. In Midsummer, the meeting of Titania and Oberon, I sent the actors who were the original Titania and Oberon, sent them into this area of the Heathdale, and they showed me what they came up with. And their blocking is what I'm still using. It was brilliant. He climbed all the way up the hill, and you couldn't see him, and his voice echoed all through the Heathdale, and the power of that.
What jealous Oberon! Fairy, skip hence, I have forsworn his bed and company.
Tarry, rash wanton. Am I not thy lord?
Then I must be thy lady.
I think that's why you get good performances, because it's such an immediate experience and people don't have time to get self-conscious. They're not like, oh, I've got Shakespeare here. I have this incredibly famous thing to say.
My gentle Puck, come hither.
In fact, collaborations of all kinds are a running theme for Shakespeare in the Arb.
From the moment I exit the cast room over there, I'm totally in character.
Students dabble in new and unfamiliar disciplines.
I'm in oceanography and I'm in the Navy ROTC program here.
How does it round out your experience as a student at U of M?
Getting that kind of discipline every day and that kind of training to be a future officer in the Navy, and then learning a completely different type of leadership in theater, that's probably the biggest kind of rounding out experience.
I am currently a neuroscience graduate student here at the university. I'm about 2 years into my PhD.
All right. Neuroscience and Shakespeare in the Arb, how does one lead to the other?
They actually don't, and that's what's great about them. And I find that it really does sort of make me a better scientist to have these creative outputs. Oftentimes the neuroscience folks wonder why I do theater, and sometimes the theater folks wonder why I do neuroscience. But it's nice to introduce them sometimes and see how well they get along.
But it's also a collaboration between the university and the community it calls home.
I, as a community member, feel like I'm collaborating with students. I love hanging out with these college kids, love that. But I also love hanging out with the other community members.
Is it hard to work with such a diverse group from community and other units at the university?
No, it's really exciting. It's great. It's just fun to work with people who come from all walks of life. We've got people from the community who are, in their 50s. We also have kids who are like 18, and so it's just exciting to work with people of all ages.
Pulling all of these varied backgrounds together and making it all work is Kate Mendeloff.
Kate, you wanted me to be all the way up?
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Just went all the way down.
She's able to really sort of involve everybody in the process. It's a really sort of organic process, the way that she directs, and I think that that's really special and really unique. You always feel like you have input into the scene, even though she's the director.
Her creativity is unparalleled. She really, the way that she thinks, it's very large scale, very grand, and it's fantastic for her to have this to work with and to create this incredible thing. I mean, you think about everything from the actors to the costumes to the little fairies that are in the play to getting the audience together. I mean, it's a massive undertaking, and her creativity really shines through.
She is a really, really kind, lovely person to work with.
Working with Kate could even be a life-changing experience.
In my experience with her at the University of Michigan, I went from thinking I wanted to be a writer to thinking that I just wanted to be on the stage.
Okay, Javon, I'd like you to work a little bit with Sean on the arms for never harm nor spell nor charm. I think that's a little tricky about which arm and when, and just to get those arm movements really solid.
If the cast and crew love working with Kate, she has a similar feeling about the Arboretum.
I think I also feel a real affection for the Arboretum. I want people to see how beautiful it is, and I make a real effort to choose sites in the Arboretum that people might not see. If they're just walking through or jogging through.
So this might be some people's introduction to the Arb,
and
what a great way to give them a tour.
Yes, absolutely.
In fact, Shakespeare in the Arb has been a boon for the park as well.
Trying something new, coming to see Shakespeare is what draws them often for the first time.
What about people who already know the Arb? Does this frame it in a new way for them?
Absolutely. We have people who've been coming here for years and could swear they know the Arb like the back of their hand. But Kate finds those spaces for them and shows them the Arb in a whole new light.
But doing Shakespeare outdoors has its own challenges. That requires a certain esprit de corps. I can understand this gets rid of lights and set design and all that. But what is a pain in the neck about having to do
the
a production?
weather.
Okay.
And the mosquitoes. If you look at our legs, they're bites and bruises and busted toes, and we're tough. We're tough. Yeah.
April Pickrell, the Nichols Arboretum's administrator and events coordinator, says Shakespeare in the Arb has been an inspiration.
This summer we're actually starting a music series. We just wouldn't have even considered that an option without having explored Shakespeare here in the Arb.
You saw the success of the Shakespeare, which is selling out pretty much show after show,
Absolutely.
and said we could do more programming like
Yes.
this. Are you hoping that on the 20-year anniversary you're still doing this?
Yeah, I might have to be in the golf cart by then.